If you are over 40 and have ever dealt with knee, elbow, shoulder, or back pain while playing pickleball, this video is for you. Follow along to this video as I'm going to show you my 2 favorite things as a physical therapist to play a lot healthier on the court. The 2 main things that I'm going to go over is the proper warm-up that folks can use prior to stepping on the court, and then some strategies that you can use off the court to try and better prepare yourself when it comes time to play. So the first thing we're going to chat about is the warm-up. When it comes to the warm-up, there are a few phases that I like to break it down into. The first phase is just getting your blood flowing and increasing your heart rate. So I'm going to have Hunter start with just some nice and easy jogs from the net to the baseline back to the net, strictly to get his heart rate up prior to other movements. And then come on back here, Hunter. Other ways that you can get your heart rate up if you don't want to spend time running up and down the court, we can do a simple 5 to 10 jumping jacks, which should get our blood flowing throughout the entire body. Once we're done getting our heart rate up, we can get into some movements that loosen up the rest of our body. I usually like to touch on both upper and lower half. So from the upper body, we can start with some simple arm swings, starting real small, working into much bigger arm swings. Excellent. And then back down to smaller ones. You can do some walking knee to chest. I'll have Hunter demonstrate this with me. So as we walk up, we'll just pull that knee up to the chest. Excellent. And then step forward. Very good. Next one we're going to do is for the back side of the leg. So I'm going to have Hunter take that small step forward, keep the knee straight, and just walk your hands down your leg until you feel a stretch in your hamstring. And then we'll take a step forward and do the same thing with the other leg. So walk that arms down the leg, stretch in the hamstring, and then take that step forward. Next thing we're going to get into is a little bit more dynamic movement. If there's one exercise that I usually have folks run through almost every time before playing, it's the multi-directional lunges. So with this one, I'm going to have Hunter take a mini lunge forward, and then take a lunge out to the side, back to standing position, and then rotate behind him. Very good. This movement right here usually covers a lot of bases, whether that be taking a step forward, having to move to the net, whether you're moving side to side of the kitchen line in some sort of a dink rally, or having to drop step over the head for whatever reason for some sort of a lob. The last phase of the warm-up is a little bit more explosion, trying to get ready for some of the game-like situations that we're going to find playing. Usually I would have folks start with some sort of plyometric movement. So the first phase of the plyometrics would be on 2 feet, having these nice and quick bounces up off the ground. That is excellent. 10 to 15 seconds is perfect. The individual can switch on to 1 foot, so they can just do those same quick pogo jumps on 1 foot. Excellent. Great for the foot and ankle, great for the calf, great for the Achilles. Very nice. We can rest there. We can use those pogo jumps moving front to back, side to side, all sorts of different variations depending on if somebody wants to spend a little more time trying to prep their foot and ankle. The last bit of plyometrics that I like folks to try is something more explosive. When I say explosion, obviously I'm meaning a full explosive jump. If that's not going to be comfortable, or if you feel like that's a little bit too advanced for your situation, we can do some small jumps still. You're going to be doing them while playing pickleball, so I can have to imagine somebody can do some sort of a jump variation on their own. I would usually say try 1 explosive jump. Good. Break for a second. Feel like we get our bearings straight, then we'll run back through another one. Folks can run through about 3 to 5 of those guys, and then they should be ready to rock to start their dinking or start running through the shots that they're going to take on the court, and then they won't wait till point 6 to feel like they're warmed up. When running through explosive movements, or any pickleball movement for that matter, it's important to have the right gear, especially with the explosive movements I just showed you. These Selkirk shoes provide optimum stability while also providing comfort, and allows me to move around the court very safely and effectively. The next topic that I'm going to discuss that may help you play more comfortably and safely is the off-the-court preparation. So I'm going to run through a few of my favorite exercises, primarily for the legs, to try and better prepare yourself for when it comes time to play. So the first couple that I'm going to show you are on the table. One of my favorite exercises for the back of the legs and buttock is your simple glute bridge. In this situation, I'm going to have you drive up off the table and try and squeeze through your buttocks. Hold for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then work back down to the table. You may feel activity in your hamstring. To make this harder, you can try this on 1 leg. In this situation, I'm driving up, holding for about 2 to 3 seconds, and then once again lowering back down to the table. Another exercise that we can try and do from home to challenge more so the side of the hip rather than the back side. And I'm just lying on my side, and I'm trying to bring my leg up and back while keeping my toes pointed forward. And I should feel, again, activity in the side of the hip, but I shouldn't feel any aches and pains with this. It should just feel like a challenge. Both of these you can run through like 8 to 15, 2 to 3 sets of those 2 to 3 times a week. I'm then going to transition to standing. I'm going to show you 2 challenging exercises while you're up on your feet that arguably could translate better to playing pickleball when we're able to get through them. 2 more exercises that you can run through without needing any equipment at home is going to be the wall sit and the split squat. So I'm going to have Hunter here demonstrate the wall sit, where he finds any wall at home, he leans up against it with his back nice and flat and tries to maintain this position for up to like 30 to 45 seconds. And he should feel challenge in the quad, challenge in the knee. Excellent to try and bulletproof those knees and try and make it harder to experience symptoms. And instead of making you sit there all day, I'll have you come out and rest for a second. That was good. But it does get kind of challenging. So usually like 30 to 45 seconds is plenty. If wall sits become too easy, we can either lower the depth or we can transition to doing those on one leg. The next exercise we're gonna run through with no equipment needed at all is the split squat. So I'm gonna have Hunter get in the split stance again with one of his legs out in front. You can face me here, Hunter. And in this position, where his feet stay steady and he lowers down into that mini split squat position, then back up. And then the depth is solely based on challenge and based on comfort. So he doesn't need to get all the way to the ground, but if he's able to, he can. And then this same thing, we're looking for about 8 to 12 repetitions, 2 to 4 sets, and it doesn't need to be every day. Around that 3 times a week is excellent. And then in situations where we're working off the court, we can switch to the other leg just so we challenge both sides. The last little bonus tip is to know your limits. Playing more is not always playing better, so manage your volume. If you're out there playing 5 to 7 days a week, maybe reevaluate your situation, try and reflect on ways that you can be healthier, and include some things off the court to try and better prepare yourself for those 3 to 4 days on it. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button below. It just helps me reach a lot bigger audience. So I would greatly appreciate that. Stay tuned for more videos like this to try and go over ways to allow you to be a lot healthier on the court. And thank you, Hunter, for all of the wonderful demonstrations today. You might see him again later.